Hello, today I'm going to be discussing how to set up dashboards for Wazuh. Um, this is the second phase, the SOC-In-a-Box project, and what you're basically going to do is make a dashboard that will filter different alerts for Wazuh for your logs. And if you guys haven't been paying attention, I have three hosts: Windows host, and then a domain controller. And so I'm going ahead and log it in. So, log into Wazuh. And we're going to get an overview. This overview is going to tell us how many agents are connected, the last 24 hours, how many logs or alerts that we've gotten. And then you can see the rule levels here. And so to make a dashboard, which I've already made a few, I'm going to do create dashboard. But I'm just going to go over some of the dashboards I made already. So here's my security overview. So here I have top 10 event codes technically. Then the overall event activity. These are the logs that are coming in. And then the top 5 connected hosts generating security logs. And as you can see, we have this one, 1,000 logs. This one, 361. Windows 11 Client 2, 357. Windows 11 Client 3, 357. Then we also have our login and log off attempts. So I went ahead and changed these for the purpose of the lab, or purpose of explaining it. So for visualizations, you're going to do add and then create new. So here's different here are different visualizations that I can use in my dashboards if I wanted to. But for this example, I'm just going to show you different ones I already have. So up top, you have your DQL filters, which is the dashboard query language. And these essentially can filter out information, and then you can also further filter it out. So for this one, I created a pie chart, and then I used the aggregation terms. And for terms, you can do like different stuff like the date, the timestamp. You can do IP address. You can do a lot here. It's essentially DQL, but it's a little more constricted on what you can do. So yeah, this filters by event ID, and then the metric is just this, and then so say I wanted to do the top 5, cancel, do update. So 4634, this is a log off, and then 4624, I believe this is successful login, and then 1001 is Windows event reporting. Not sure what 16384 is. 4625 is unsuccessful logins. And these aren't filtering for devices like or logins. This is like every single type of login, every single type of event. It's just showing it, and the size is 5. We can do 6 or whatever we want, but yeah, that's essentially it. And then save and return. Then we're going to look at our overall activity. It's always good to have one that shows the amount of logs coming in, whether it's a line graph or one of the other types of graphs. But for this one, it's essentially a date histogram and then timestamp. And 20-minute interval, you can do 15-minute intervals, you can do like second intervals. It's really up to you. And then you can also place filters. So like say I wanted to filter for events, these events specifically. So you can see there's this here, and then data win event data log on type equals 10. So for example, this would be RDP. So as you can see, there's only been 2 in the past. Let's see, 18 to 9. So it's a long time. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to delete this. It's going to go back to normal. So these are just all events, all logs, and it's from any source essentially. Like you can change, like I did show dots, which you don't really need to do, but if you make your line bigger, that's cool. Save and return. So now it looks like this. Okay. And then we have the top 5 connected hosts generating security logs. So these are going to be our agents. And this is just a visualization that shows how many security logs that each agent is doing. And this looks a little weird right now because I changed the agent names and reconnected them so they have different agent values, like different agent names now. So it's split in 24 hours though. I mean, let's see. Let's do. I'm not even gonna worry about it. But yeah, for this one, it's just rule groups authentication, which authentication is just accepting, or rule groups attack or rule level is greater than or equal to 6. So if we go back here, I'm going to say return. We go back to our overview. We can see our rule level is 6. And we have 2,194 over 6. So those all should be included in this. So if we go here, edit visualization, so rule level 6. So all of these will be included, such as authentication. So if I go cut this, enter. Okay, so authentication actually doesn't matter, which I did want to check. Enter. Okay, let's cut this out. Rule group attack. So it doesn't. None of these actually matter. So we're just filtering for rule level over 6, essentially. And then you could change the color and stuff here. Let's make this, say, purple. I like to make it like red is gonna be like, okay, you have an issue, it's a critical alert. Yellow is like everything's good, it's kind of looking bad, starting to look bad, but I mean it really doesn't matter. Green's usually everything's good. But yeah, this is doing it by agent name, the terms aggregation agent name, and then size 5, so it's 1 2 3 4 5. And then I couldn't figure out how to just get like just the agent name. It has to have like it'll say like the field. But that's that one. And then now to get into a little bit of a more challenging one. So what we have here is data.win.system event ID is either 4624 or 4625 or 4634. So these are the same events that we discussed earlier. And so essentially we're using our Boolean statements. So we have and. So anything that fits this criteria: 4624, 4625, or 4634. And this is only meant for login attempts. So 4634 is log off, so we don't really need that. So we'll update that. And then and data and and so it also has to support one of these um and data when event data log on type 7 or 2 or 10. So what 7 is essentially event ID 4624. It's just an unlock essentially, and then 2 is an interactive login, so it's like a local login. And then 10 is going to be RDP, and I don't think we need any other here. Yeah, because it goes up to 11, but I think these are the most important ones. This will catch mostly SSH, RDP, and just login from the computer itself. So this one is split up into many different buckets. This is a table visualization. So, and then, so we're looking for things that support 4624 or 4625 and have the login type 7 or 2 or 10. And then we're going to split our rows. And then first we have timestamp, which we can also do. We can also do filters and no, sorry, terms. We don't want to do filters, terms. Then we can do timestamp, and then we update this. But this is gonna show like a lot of information. So like, it's not really refined because it's the exact millisecond values. So that's why essentially I haven't done this one. I just do date histogram, timestamp, um, and then you can do interval. Let's say every 10 minutes. We'll see a login. Okay. Update this. So now it should be all 4624, 4625. Okay, so every 10 minutes, essentially, and it's in descending order, which you can also. Okay, so okay, this makes sense. So you want the ones that are closest to now. It's still it's a very hard learning process to understand all this, even though it doesn't seem like much. It's essentially you need to know how to work with a database, how stuff interacts, how the buckets interact with each other. But okay, so here we can see our agent name, and then we can see our agent IP address, and then we're getting down to the event codes, which is data.win.system event ID. And I believe I can do a filter for this, which is like this one. Copy, paste, update. No, I don't want that actually. Sorry, I'm trying to do stuff during. Yeah, you can just search it here. Event ID, data win system event ID, update, and then it's gonna go back to the and this filters it for either 4624 or 4625. Okay, and then that's that one. And so now we're gonna get even more advanced. I created another dashboard this one is authentication monitoring. So this essentially is what I talked about before for the logon types. So we talked about logon type 10, which is RDP. And so these essentially, this board is essentially tracking RDP. And so we're going to do edit visualization, and I'll look at this. Just look at this real quick. So data win system event ID 4625. So unsuccessful logins. And then we have to get rid of 12700 and semicolon 1, because these are internal interfaces on our computer. And so we do this by doing and not. So meaning it's not 127.0.0.1 and it's not semicolon 1. And then we also do data win event data IP address. So that's down here on our x-axis, shows our IP address, and then we have our label here, and save and return, and then we can go to edit visualization. Same thing with this one, but it's 4624, so these are our successful logins. It's going to be the same thing. Data win event data IP address. So save and return. These are essentially the same. You can just switch 4624 with 4625, vice versa, or any code for that matter. If you want to see how many users are logging off, you're going to do 4634. Or if you want to see window, like which hosts are generating the most Windows reports, then you would do like 1001. And you kind of just learn how to do it with event data. And then these are our logins by IP address, like just in a different view. So I mean, you can see that 40% are from host 192.168.50.102. So the point of this is essentially to see which hosts are logging in the most via RDP. And then if this were in an enterprise network, you would essentially see that there's hosts coming in from the VPN or the VPS or whatever the jump zone or whatever the network administrator has set up, and you can see these attacks coming in, not attacks, these remote desktop logins or logins in general. You can do it for the VPN, will be coming into Wazuh. And for my lab or project, I decided to just do these two dashboards, which took me long enough, as well as setting up RDP on the clients, because I did run into some issues, which I will discuss in the documentation. But yeah, this is gonna show. So when I go to attack, I'm most likely gonna RDP into one of these hosts here, and it's gonna show an IP address that's like way different or not included from our hosts in Windows Active Directory. But yeah, that's essentially it for today. And thank you for watching. Have a good day.